But speaking of being that pathetic, we got to get to the news of the day.
God.
Lana, are you familiar with a young lady named Taylor Swift?
Let's go, Taylor. I hear they're calling, what are they calling Lauren Bobart? Trailers?
Trailer Swift. I think they also, Marjorie Trailer Green, I think she got that too. So there are a lot of seemingly men very upset about what's going on with Taylor Swift and Kansas City Chief tight end Travis Kelce. And there are a lot of conspiracy theories going around that if you have not heard yet, I happen to be a huge professional football fan. I've watched the National Football League my entire life. And there's an event at the end of the year called the Super Bowl that they play. You may have heard of it. And because of the attention that Taylor Swift, who certainly doesn't need any introduction from anybody, and Travis Kelce, who's the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, like I said, just so you know, if you don't know Travis Kelce other than just dating Taylor Swift, he plays a position called the tight end. And the tight end is sort of like a wide receiver, just a bigger guy. He can block, he can catch the ball. He's just usually not as fast as the wide receiver position. He could go down as the greatest tight end in the history of the game. He is that good. He's really, really good. So this isn't a guy that's just some bum and just, and him and Taylor Swift started dating. He is a very famous football player amongst, the NFL. So there's a conspiracy theory that this was put together by Democrats somehow, because Travis Kelce, I've never heard him talk about his politics, but he has done commercials for Bud Light, which, Bud Light probably said, hey, we need a manly guy on here because we have a lot of pussies in our country that won't drink our product anymore because we let one trans person advertise it on her channel. It wasn't even a national advertisement, but now we've got people shooting up our beer cans like crazy nuts. So could you be the masculine dude that comes on our commercials? Same thing. Pfizer asked him to do a commercial so he can let guys know, hey, this is not scary. You'll be okay. Take it easy.
And get your flu shot at the same time because he did that.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So a lot of people assume he's a liberal. He does seem to, have some liberal views, but I've never heard him be political.
Right.
But the conspiracy is that them two are only together so the NFL can fix it to where the Chiefs somehow make the Super Bowl. And this is one theory I heard, that at halftime, Taylor Swift's going to come down and endorse Joe Biden. Now, you talking about we were making fun of the Jerry Springer thing. This is so beyond the scale and off the page from Jerry Springer that now I'm really getting concerned about the mental health of this country, because this is not coming from QAnon. This is not coming from some mystery guy. This is not coming from some kooky nuts on YouTube. These are people who are on national broadcast.
But they say it because they know how stupid Trump supporters are. Like, they just say anything. They don't believe that shit. They just know that they went in the back, they made us some shit that they can give to these people to hype them up and get them upset about something. Like, it's just so stupid. They're fucking like lapdogs.
That's I call them flying monkeys. They remind me of the Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch's flying monkeys who just did whatever the Wicked Witch said. This is Jesse Waters on his primetime, highly viewed show on Fox News. It's a news. This is supposed to be a news channel, but
right.
this is a primetime show on, again, a news channel. Says, I like her music. She's all right. But I mean, have you ever wondered why or how she blew up like this? First of all, it's my understanding Taylor Swift's first hit was when she was 15 years old, and that was 18 years ago.
Been around for a while, right?
I've known and heard about Taylor Swift and the power that she's had with
Right.
a younger audience and even an older audience
Right.
for some time now. But apparently, according to Jesse Waters, she's just starting to blow up. So if you're wondering why, well, around 4 years ago, the Pentagon Psychological Operations Unit floated turning Taylor Swift into an asset during a NATO meeting. What kind of asset? A psyop for combating online information. So that's his, I don't know if that's true or not. I would imagine a news channel that had to pay out $787 million for lying might want to be careful about what they say, especially against probably the most powerful woman in the world at this point.
Yeah.
You know, but let's say whatever that is there's some little bit of truth to it that the Pentagon got together with her and said, hey, we want to combat misinformation and we want your help. Maybe that's possible. I don't know. But they're trying to use this to allude to some sort of huge conspiracy with the government and that Taylor Swift's so powerful. She, before Jesse Waters said this, my understanding that she asked people to register to vote. And when she asked people to vote, there were record-breaking numbers of people who registered to vote. She didn't tell anybody who to vote for. She just said, register to vote.
Right.
And now it's turned into a conspiracy that she's working with the government, that she's going to endorse Biden at halftime of the Super Bowl, and that somehow the NFL planned and plotted the Kansas City Chiefs. And for anybody who's not a football fan, let me explain to you about the Kansas City Chiefs. Very quickly, the National Football League consists of two conferences, the AFC and the NFC, American Football Conference, National Football Conference. The winner of those two play in the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs this is their fourth time in 6 years going to the Super Bowl. They've won the American Football Conference 4 times out of the last 6 years. And the Kansas City Chiefs has played in that game 6 years in a row. So Kansas City as a football team already had been very, very successful.
They've been kicking ass, right?
So it's not shocking that they are in the Super Bowl because they might have possibly the greatest quarterback ever.
It's not a conspiracy that they're there. Like, it's
Lana,
not.
we know this. And this is just so fucking insane. I mean, it is absolutely insane. I'm going to play 2 clips of this Greg Kelly character. He is on a channel called Newsmax. And since we're talking Taylor Swift, we'll play his Taylor Swift theory first. This is him on, again, what is a national news channel that you can get if you have some sort of cable. This is him on the whole Taylor Swift thing.
Was talking about Taylor Swift. I like Taylor Swift. I like the song called Style. I like the song where she's complaining about her boyfriend who lied to her. I like the song where she...
This is going to be his attempts at ribbing her and making horrible jokes. But again, this is supposed to be a newscaster. He's not on the Daily Show. He's not on a Comedy Central show, but he's gonna do his little comedic bit here.
Complains about the boyfriend who dumped her. I like the song about the girlfriend who let her down on the big night. She was expecting all the support at the party. I kind of have a problem though with the hardcore Taylor Swift fans. They are totally over the top, worshiping this woman. Have you seen any of the pictures of her in concert? I wouldn't go myself. I don't do that kind of thing anymore. But I think what they call it is...
What's that?
I just said worshiping. Have you seen Trump supporters? Trump wish he could get that crowd.
It's funny you say that because the next clip will blow your fucking mind.
They're elevating her to an idol. Idolatry. This is a little bit what idolatry I think, looks like, and you're not supposed to do that. In fact, if you look it up in the Bible, it's a sin. So I don't like that. And I'm also...
So idolizing people is a sin. And basically, Taylor Swift's fans are getting to a point where it is a blasphemy, and it's to a point that is concerning, and that they will do whatever they tell her. Now, Lana, I don't know if you've seen this. The same Greg Kelly, you got to see this. Do you recall last week when Donald Trump mixed up Nikki Haley and Nancy Pelosi?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. It's a 3-minute clip, but I'm not playing the whole 3 minutes. I'm just going to get through watch this.
We're about to see the fake news version of the worst flub in the world. Now, they know it's not the worst flub. It's not the worst gaffe. But they say Trump made it, so it must be really, really bad. I don't
Same guy talking about idolizing people.
think it is that bad, and actually might even be great, as in it's not a gaffe. Might have been exactly what he wanted to say when he seemed to say Nikki Haley when he meant Nancy Pelosi. Take a look.
By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley.
1,
Nikki Haley.
2,
Nikki Haley.
3.
You know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it. All of it. Because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley
4.
is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, so whatever they want. They turned it down. They don't want to talk about that.
All right, let's pretend for a moment. Now, I don't think this is the case, that he made a genuine mistake here, that this was a gaffe.
4 times.
Tired or whatever, sure, right? Campaigning, having to defend himself in crazy trials all over the place.
Oh my God.
But let's look at the names for a second. Nancy Pelosi and Nikki Haley. All right, they both start with N's. They both end in vowels, both the first name and the last name. The names arguably are rather similar, okay?
What is happening?
But I think he actually meant to say Nikki Haley. He said it on purpose, and the fake news fell for it.
Okay, I'm not watching that anymore. I mean, you get the gist of...
What is he doing with his mouth? Why is he licking shit? Who the fuck is this guy? He's a weirdo. Who is he? He's a weirdo. Why did I have to watch that?
Could you imagine being that disgraceful of a... First of all, there's a word masculinity thrown around a lot. That guy does not deserve, if there is the so-called man card, because when you are that deep in the woods, where you are not only just going to kind of go, and he made a mistake, he is done a complete 180, and he's going to explain to everybody that he did that on purpose, and you and I and everybody else fell for it because we're not smart enough.
One thing I'm happy about is I'm okay with all of this shit that they're doing. We complain about it, but keep doing it, guys. Love to see it. I don't care if MSNBC, CNN plays Donald Trump clips every day because people need to be reminded of how dangerous and how fucking stupid that idiot is. Like, he needs all of the spotlight to wake fucking people up. So they're like, the fuck is that? I mean, them little clips, you're looking at him like, he doesn't look good. He looks sick. He can't even stand fucking straight. He's sweating all the time like a fucking rabid animal. Like, what the hell is going on? So keep attacking Taylor. We need the white suburban women anyway.
No question about it. And I agree with you. I think these people were already playing on the cliff. Now they're drinking and getting fucking drunk as fuck on the cliff. And they're going to eventually fall off at some point. Because some people are even going to go, now, I mean, obviously, let's say you have 100% of MAGA. If you take 10% of them and they go, God damn, this is getting like really crazy now.
Exactly. Or they like Taylor Swift. Or their kids are getting tickets to Taylor Swift. And now you're like, oh, if you're a Taylor Swift fan, you're the devil or you're sinning.
Well, here's another Fox News idiot talking about, this is her theory on the Taylor Swift thing. I can't even I got two clips where two women are talking about the Taylor Swift thing. They're both batshit crazy. I can't even remember what they said. So this is going to be fun for me too.
Had enough of Taylor Swift for now, but here's the facts.
Who's we?
Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, and now there's an online plea circulating that is begging people to become Niners fans for the next 2 weeks. Just so it doesn't raise Travis Kelce, a.k.a. Mr. Pfizer's star power, along with, of course, Taylor Swift, because
that's supposed to be some, you're supposed to, bad thing that Travis Kelce is named Mr. Pfizer, and he got that nickname from that other idiot, Aaron Rodgers, who goes on that Pat McAfee show and wanted to challenge Travis Kelce to a debate about the vaccine because he's on a vaccine commercial. I mean, this is getting so fucking dumb. So many people are talking in an arena that they shouldn't be talking in. It is just so incredibly stupid.
But it looks stupid. People. Like they are the fucking laughing stock of the world. Like seriously, they're on local TV and people are like, so Republicans hate Taylor Swift now. Like what? What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah. All right. Let's finish up in here with this idiot.
Triggered.
It is so scary. There was a recent poll. 1/5 of Taylor Swift fans said they would back whichever candidate that she endorsed. You know, let's be honest, a lot of her fan base are 15-year-old girls.
It'd be more than 1/5.
Anyways. A lot of the others are already liberal women who would support the DNC no matter what. But there's a lot of other people who need to be careful because she doesn't do what she says. Like, for example, yesterday, she flew private from New York City to Baltimore. Yet she constantly talks about climate change. So just please don't believe everything Taylor Swift says. We're all begging you.
Yeah. Okay.
What does that have to do with, what does flying private have to do with climate change? Is a private airplane different than a regular airplane?
No, but that's their ruse. That's how they get liberals who always say, you know, you care so much about the climate, then why are you always flying on private jets and why are you doing this? But you know, you have a woman at the end of that clip, ironically on Fox News, begging people not to believe everything somebody says. And you are on a channel, again, that had to pay out $787 million because you literally bold-faced lie. And I want to remind people, they didn't win that money on a judgment. That money came as part of a settlement because Fox News knew that they probably were going to lose a lot more. And they were just like, a lot of shit's going to come out that we don't want people to see. So let's just fucking get rid of this case as quickly as we can. And the Dominion people said, you know, we could take this to trial. We could sit here forever. It may take us forever to get this money. Should we take the 787 right now? 787.5. I remember that just like Donald Trump did in his stupid video. But they said, yeah, let's take the 708. It disappointed a lot of people because they really wanted them to blast Fox News, and it disappointed me. But logistically and you know, if you look at it in reality, they did the right thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep. So this other clip. Now, you could take Fox News. We both agree they're crazy, right?
Yeah.
Then you got Newsmax.
Yes.
Batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a channel called OAN, which they're so crazy that even DirecTV said, we're not having them on our fucking thing anymore.
Oh my God.
I don't know who this woman is. She definitely needs deep psychological help, but this is her theory on Taylor Swift.
Pop star celebrity sweetheart joins forces with the top dog.
She's saying it with such passion. She stood up all night. She's like, I can't wait to be able to deliver this on Taylor Swift. I'm so excited.
So much fucking makeup on.
That too. By the way, look at the Kai on there. This is Allison's angle. Massive Super Bowl psyop. Let's hear what Allison has to say. She's very excited about it, whatever it is.
In the NFL, playing for the team that's going to the Super Bowl. I mean, let's be real here. This is bread and circuses on steroids. Major League Sports, in and of itself, is nothing but a psyop. get kids plugged into the cycle of going to public indoctrination camps, playing sports for their school, and going to games. Many end up devoting their entire childhood to competing in various sports, only to be cut from the team, at which point they become brainwashed into supporting professional teams because they know their dreams of becoming a pro athlete will probably never happen. So then they become obsessed.
I would like to say that early on, I knew I was not going to be a professional athlete even before any teams I played on.
I can't even get past that she's like a one eyelash away from looking like Tammy Faye Baker.
Actually, she does. You are absolutely correct.
And then having her to put a cross on.
Well, that's what these nutballs do. They think this is for that. They think that they are fighting a holy war against, I guess, Democrats.
She
and
literally has on makeup like she's going to the fucking club, and then she throws a cross on and be like, oh, but I'm for the evangelicals. Like, that's me. Like,
is that how is that how God intended for her face to look?
And her plumped up lips, and like no one's like body shaming or whatever, but she's got a cross around her neck and she's fucking made up like she's about to like and go to a party.
Yeah, you're right. It's not body shaming. It has nothing to do with that. It's hypocritical shaming is what it is. Because again, everything about the Bible and Jesus, God, just like they talk about trans people, that's not what God intended. Well, God didn't intend for your face to look like a fucking clown either.
She looks like she's transitioning.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Okay, well, she needs to transition into sanity, because I don't care how much makeup she puts on. I'd much rather transition into some sort of logic and sanity. But you listen to the end of this fucking nutball.
With some grown man who gets paid millions of dollars every year to throw a ball around while promoting poison death shots and child slave labor through various brand deals and endorsements.
What?
So sad. Imagine being so brainwashed by sports, you actually show up to your team stadium to shovel snow for free so you can watch a bunch of grown men who are overpaid tackle each other.
I gotta admit, I'm that brainwashed. I'd do it.
Seriously, though, trudging through 3 feet of snow amid a massive blizzard just to watch a game? Yeah, sorry, you couldn't pay me to do that.
Nobody's asking.
Just imagine for a moment if people were as dedicated to Jesus as they are professional sports.
There it is.
I think the country might look pretty different if that were the case.
Allison,
but sadly, as we know, it's not. And perhaps that's why we're witnessing the crumbling and degradation of our once great nation. Instead, all we seem to care about are the celebrities and athletes propped up by the Hollywood elites and this ongoing theater, this fake, carefully crafted show that the masses have been hypnotized.
She's literally doing fake. She's literally doing theater.
Like she got fake lips, fake eyelashes. Girl, sit down.
She literally is doing theater, and she's calling out people who are doing theater.
Yo, football
is not theater.
Is like what? It's like Kaepernick never happened at this point. Everyone's watching football. Everyone is that is the big thing right now. What the fuck is she talking about? It's like, you're American and you're attacking football? Like, what is that? It's like, who does that?
We've gotten to a point. Like I said, I mean, they are literally fighting the holy war that they thought that they were born to fight their whole lives. I remember growing up, and I know a lot of religious people, and I know people take their religion very seriously. I have never in my life heard people who are these kind of evangelicals that are now stepping up this over the top, us versus Jesus versus you kind of.
Jesus versus football. Have you ever been in church? I remember being in church, like with my ex. He had to go to church. And Sunday, and the bishop going, I'm going to make this fast, right? Because he knew it was Sunday football. Everyone was trying to get to Sunday football, so he was trying to get us out of there.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? What the fuck?
Actually, if you look around football, like high school football, college football, I've got a very, very, very good friend of mine, one of my best friends. He's a high school football coach in Georgia, and high school coach or high school football especially is very, especially here in the South, is very religious sort of centric. There's a lot of religion tied to high school football, like, again, especially in the South. So I think, again, this is a woman who just knew she had a segment coming. She's like, what can I just do to punch people in the face? It's going to sound great. It's going to sound awesome. And I'm sure she got off the air thinking that was the greatest thing that I've ever done. That was so fantastic. Yeah. And meanwhile, small YouTube show like ours, and certainly even way bigger shows across the country, are laughing at that just like it should be laughed at.
Oh, she wants Trump's attention. Maybe Trump will see how pretty she is and, like grab her up, or Fox or somebody. So we know what this is about.
Yeah.
What a fool.
Like I said, we now live in a country where I have to sit here and talk to people as to whether or not the NFL is rigged because of Taylor Swift, and did the Democrats have anything to do with it? And it's become mainstream. And it's like, man, people keep talking about this. Well, why doesn't Joe Biden get his message out? He doesn't get his message out because it's fucking flooded with dumb shit like this.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
If these channels didn't exist, and again, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be an opposing view, sort of, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But when it's just flat lies and it's just flat nutty, crazy shit, I don't have time. I don't even want to talk to these people anymore. And I would, again, if I'm in these conversations with any of these people, I am dismissing any of this ridiculous bullshit before I even engage in any kind of conversation. I'm just not doing it. It's a waste of my fucking time. I used to say before all this stuff, people like to talk politics, sometimes with me because they know I like talking about it, people I know. And, I'd say, okay, but before we talk any politics, I'd just ask a couple questions. One, do you think Hillary Clinton had people murdered? And if they said yes, that's the end of our conversation. I am not talking to you. I'm not having a conversation with somebody that thinks Hillary Clinton's behind murdering people.
Right. Or even someone who thinks that Joe Biden didn't win an election. Like,
well, there's no point.
Why is it that you think that Donald Trump, if it's not in his favor, it's not right? Like, how can you live like, is that how you teach your kids? If you lost that game, they rigged it? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it's so, oh gosh.
You're right. I could not live with myself. I couldn't wake up every day, look myself in the mirror and go, if I just believed anything anybody told me, or if I was a sycophant for a politician, again, you had these, we talked about the Jerry Springer show. These people were convinced that Joe Biden didn't get enough votes because you didn't see any Joe Biden flags and hats. That's their barometer.
Right.
Because Joe Biden didn't have a bunch of people at his rallies. Well, COVID was going on and Joe Biden was responsible and said, well, I'm not having rallies. That's why you didn't see a bunch of people at my rallies. And if we did have rallies, we had them in the car and they were sitting in their cars and with their masks on. And
and you know what though, Brian, too, a lot of them know better and they just lie. And I just thought about like that woman, some tweet that was going around, and they were like, or you've seen them where they said they took the COVID vaccination and now they have the shakes. So then you have a woman just in the hospital bed shaking like crazy. And it's just like, why are you doing this? You got full eye mascara on and lashes. Who put that on if you're doing all of that shaking? Like, it just doesn't make any damn sense.
Well, on top of it, what doesn't make any sense is, let's say there's a video that you see of somebody uncontrollably shaking.
Right.
And just because somebody puts a video out but puts words on it and goes, COVID vaccine caused this, people just believe that because somebody made a video, I can make a video, put words on it. And so to believe it just because it's online and you're believing that the COVID vaccine caused that, You've got to be
But
you've got to be ashamed of
it
yourself.
only causes it to MAGAs.
Right. Right.
White MAGA women.
Right.
This issue.
Correct.
What's wrong with y'all?
Right. That's a fascinating thing. I mean, maybe we need to look into that. Why it only happens to Trump voting white women. I don't get it. And boy, the movements they make,
It's unbelievable.
They're doing the full thing. I don't know. Did you ever watch the show? If maybe some people would be able to relate with this. Did you ever watch the show Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Well, there's a character, George Costanza. He was just a bullshitter. He would do anything, say anything. And one time he got caught. Somebody said something. He got caught nudging the person next to him. And because he was like, this guy's full of shit kind of thing. But he got caught. And the guy was like, something wrong with your arm? He's like, oh, yeah, I heard it. So every time he was around this guy, he had to move his arm. So the guy says, I'm going to set you up with a doctor's appointment so you can get that checked out. He went through the whole thing. He went to the doctor's appointment, do everything, just so he can prove his point.
Physical therapy.
Yep, just so he could prove his point that this is real. And finally, the doctor's like, this is nothing. You're an idiot.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's how they are.
Yeah, and I don't even know if those videos are real. I don't know if they have friends that might work in a hospital and say, "Hey, can I borrow your hospital bed real quick?" Or
of course they do, because the woman that I saw didn't even have on hospital.
Yeah, right.
Friggin' bathrobe. Like,
yep. Yeah, she was laying in her bed and then rose like from the dead, almost shaking, and the one leg wasn't shaking until she put it on the floor.
Exactly.
I know. Yeah.
All along she's got on her sexy Walmart lingerie.
Again, I am so happy. I'm happy for me. I am happy for Lana that we don't wake up with the mechanism in our brains that make us this fucking crazy. Like, I mean, crazy that you would. This is so important to you that you would just go out of your way to lie to people and lie to yourself and lie to your family and lie to everybody just to satisfy some very bizarre issues you've got going on in your head.
Yeah. Stick it to the libs. Gotta win.
Cool. Something. Yeah. You got him. You got the libs, but guess what? Now you don't have Social Security. You don't have fucking medical care. You don't have anything, but you got those libs. Good for you, you fucking morons.
Got them libs. You did it.
You did it. Good for you.